All right. JJK players. All right. Look at this. We got an announcement. A featured gacha is coming soon. Mostly fine. It's a bit whatever. But this is a little bit of a weird one to me. Maybe this was in... Okay, cool. Nice game. Maybe this was in JP as well, but... Here we go. From December 31, 2024, 3 p.m. UTC +9. Maki Zenin. Aoi Todo will be on Rate Up. Yes. Along with SSR Recollection Bit Desperate Resistance. So, I am going to do a quick showcase on these characters to show you why you shouldn't pull. But first, let's go over the recollection bit for why you shouldn't pull. Alright, Desperate Resistance. Triggered upon using command or ultimate skill. This is at its max limit break 3. No, not leveling it. 45% damage dealt increase to self. And if you are less than 50% health, you get 20% as well. So you get 65% total. 2 turns. Which is kind of meh. Because you can get that from a lot of other places and it's not split and it's not dependent on being low HP. Then this part isn't too bad, but it's kind of meh as well. Again, dependent on you being at 50% HP or less, can only be used once and you get 1000 ultimate gauge. Now, a lot of different characters have different levels of ult gauge. So if you go back, let's look at Yuta. His ult gauge is just over 1550. Let's look at Yuji, 1363. Let's look at Gojo. There you go. He would actually get his ult from this. Hollow Purple, 1168. Ghetto, 1363. Nobara, 1168. Megami, 1752. What am I saying with this? Well, it's that it has varying levels of usefulness per character, and on most characters, it's not even giving you a full ult gauge. So it's really just kind of awkward when it comes to it, especially on things that can give you multiple procs of ult gauge. This is one of my favorite recollection bits. Look, when you land a crit, you get 200. You land 5 crits, you've beaten it, and it just keeps on going. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to proc anything. It's great. Non-standard gives you some ult gauge whenever a wave starts. Not quite as good, but at least it's automatic and you don't need to worry about any restrictions. There's a lot of things out there like that where you don't need to worry about it. Now, let's look at the characters really quick. Maki. Maverick Outcast. This is pretty bad. Deals 100% physical technique. Each level gives it an extra 5.6. Caps out at 156. This is a generally low level strike, crush bones. It does apply a 30% physical technique decrease, so it means you're going to take a little bit less damage. But each level only gives you an extra 1.6, so you're going to cap out at about 46%. And this will cap out at 140, so kind of meh. And multipliers are all bad. And this swirl, melee attack to all enemies equal to 70% of physical damage. Each level gives it another 3.9%. It's not worth any of your things. Even if we give this a 40% total, this goes to 110 AoE. That's disgustingly bad. They've tried to balance her because she doesn't actually consume any cursed energy for any of these things. So it's all free all the time, which is great. But everything's bad. Even the ult's not great. Look at this. 2 hits total. 480% damage. Every level does increase it by 53, so I could enhance this a little bit. Like, say I give it 2 levels, right? Let's say I take it to level 5. This is probably about where you'd want to take her if you're going to use it. I'm not taking it further. It's not worth it. I don't want to use any of my yellow, my yellow things here. So level 3, it's what? 586. Okay, sure. Let's look at like a Yuta or something, right? Look at this. This is his AoE. Decent, so similar level of damage, not great, but has a chance to apply instant death and also applies a 15% crit resist debuff. Let's look at this. 4 hits. 124, 176, 156, and 234. 4 hits total. You add them all together. That is massive compared to what Maki's doing. Maki is really, really trash right now. Todo, not much better. Blast from the past. Let's see. This is just a regular attack. She's got one as well. It's fine. This is kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. It's fun, but not good. Let's say that. Okay. 20%, 19.3% physical technique increase to self and an ally for 3 times 3 turns and applies best friend status to that ally. So when taking a single target attack, the ally in the status has a 70% chance to apply disruption to the enemy for 3 turns and deals melee attack damage to the enemy equal to 70% of physical. It's not too bad, but every time the counter happens, it costs 10 curse energy. So all of a sudden, it's not particularly good. And all you're really worrying about is this. This can be good for, say, red Yuji, green Yuji, Maki, if you're playing that, Boogie Woogie isn't too bad, but it's still got pretty poor multipliers. Deals melee attack damage to target enemies equal to 92.4% physical and has, let's call it, a 40% chance to apply disruption for 3 turns. So, yeah, And my dear friend, the ult, deals melee attack damage to target enemies equal to a boatload of physical technique, applies 29% crit rate to self for 1 time, 1 turn, and also gives a crit increase to the best friend. So this isn't too bad. If you've got a character that loves to crit, that's really, really good. And especially if you're actually using this, it works synergistically here, because whenever they land a crit, they get ult damage, so you can not worry about farming crits and all that sort of stuff. So let's build a team and have a look specifically at these guys, and then maybe let's take Todo in as a support. See what we can pull off with him. Alright, so this is how confident I am in them. I'm going to go into Extreme 1. Going in here. Extreme 1. Let's see how they go in Extreme 1. Remember, you can auto this with probably just Yuta on his own at this point. Alright. Let me build a team. Alright, so this is the team we're going to use. Todo is actually kind of curse energy hungry, which is a little bit awkward. And we're going to be using Todo to give Maki best friend. These guys will give their normal buffs. So hopefully we can do a little bit of damage. I'm just not confident, that's all. Let's find out. Red Yuji is in the back. Just in case something goes wrong, man. Recollection bits are just there to increase attack. Alright, Panda. Alright. Tutoring, yes. Not use that yet. Blast from the past. Want to see how much damage she's going to do? Watch this. How lethal this girl is. Oh, big damage. Yeah, she took more than she did there. Look at that. Alright. Do this. Let's hit Maki with Boogie Woogie. And this, physical Tank decrease. That's good. Look at that. What do we want to do? I was going to swirl again, I think, because this does, yeah, 70%. This does 100. This does 90. Like, it's all bad. This guy's going to ult. That's scary. So let's use the recollection bit. Todo is now out of cursed energy. That's good. Yep, let's keep swirl up. We're very slowly getting our ultimate gauge. Look at us go. Oh. Nice. Okay, so that was best friend kicking in, which is really useful. And here we're going to actually be able to break Maki with swirl again, I believe. We'll get the break here, the break here. I don't think we'll break Panda though, so that's a bit disappointing. Nice. Maki's nearly gone. Very good, very cool. Sweep. Todo we'll use to take out Panda. And Maki, because this recollection bit gives us physical, which is 70% physical. And another 30% if HP is less than 50%. So we actually managed to get that here, which is pretty good. Maki on Maki action. Go. But as you can see, look at our health pools here. Not great. Not huge damage from Todo there. Decent damage overall, you know. Not great though. 600k to each or something like that. That's sort of the levels you're looking at here. Bearing in mind, like, other characters are hitting in the millions with the amount of support I was giving them. So let's come back and have a look at some of that. And just an FYI, this is going to be Extreme 2. In fact, I'll build the team here because it's going to be pretty chill. So we're going to go change order. We're going to boot Maki off the team. Like, Todo's acceptable just because of best friend, and that works pretty well with this Yuji. Let's give him this. Let's switch you with Yuta just in case. Give Yuta his standard stuff. Todo, because you can build Todo for a bit more support, having this recollection bit is actually quite a bit nicer because you get a little bit of extra health if you need it. And a tiny amount of damage reduction at the beginning of the fight. So, let's rock this instead. Obviously, this is not a ideal team, let's say, but it's not the worst thing you could be doing either. So this first turn, I'm going to buff here. I'll sweep with Nanami. I'll make Yuji besto friendo, and I'll give us all one stack of Yuji. Now, bearing in mind, right, best friend status, 20 cursed energy, 19% physical increase to self. Cool, right? Not bad. Or you could go 10 cursed energy, 44% break damage to all allies, and 50% crit rate to himself. That's what we're dealing with here, right? That's the difference in character level we're dealing with here. Like, you could almost argue this Yuji is a better support. Which is kind of sad, actually. Now that I think about that. Alright. I did click that. Yep, good. Let's boogie the woogie. I could do one more stack of Let's Do Our Best, but it's not really needed. Flying Kick Maki. Not bad damage-wise. Look at Yuji's curse energy, just like, oh sorry, alt gauge, just fly up there. It's much better. Let's do this. Let's heal up. Pop in there. Nice. Excellent. So that's broken Maki because of how good that is at doing that. Tutoring. Let's do this. Blast from the past. So best of friendo. Wreck skill onto Bunda. And you can sort of see how powerful Yuji can be with a little bit of extra help and some of the buffs. Which is sort of where we're going with this. Yeah, Black Flash, instant break, instant KO. Yuji is much better. Alright, let's do this. Tutoring. Let's do this. Hammer Knuckle here. Hammer Knuckle. Yeah, on the little guy. Flying kick on the little guy. Because then next turn we can ult with Todo to take care of Maki. That should be enough. Yeah, easy. Look at that. Alright. Boop. Boop. Take out Maki. I think a regular strike should be enough. Yeah, easy. And we got our second ult with you. So, he works better as a support. He's not particularly good. She's not particularly good. Skipperino the Bannerino. And with that, everyone, catch you in the next one. Peace.